Hello and welcome everyone to this new video. In this video, I'm going to talk about weights in Selenium. Specifically, we are going to differentiate between implicit wait and explicit wait, and we are going to understand thread.sleep. So, if you have followed my previous video, in our previous video, we have seen a problem that when we were running this program, the problem was that there was certain load time and it was throwing no such element exception. And there I told you that we have used a statement called thread.sleep at that time. All right. But right now, I'm going to explain you in detail why we have used thread.sleep and why this is not a very ideal choice to use thread.sleep. Instead, we should use implicit wait or explicit wait. And if you compare implicit and explicit, what is the most ideal way to run a program? Is it we have to use an implicit wait or we have to use an explicit wait? What we need to do, we will understand everything in detail in this video. Alright. So, first of all, to start with, I'm going to explain you what are weights in Selenium and why wait is required. Okay. So to understand that, first of all, let's probably go and search for a flight booking website. Okay. So let's go to Ixigo and let's open this website. Now you need to understand that every page or every image in internet or your Wi-Fi takes certain amount of time to load that element or anything which is getting loaded in your screen. But during that wait time, what happens? Let's try to understand that. So for example, I'm searching for a flight from Bangalore to Nagpur and probably Monday and 29 December. And let's search for it. So as soon as I click on the search button, just observe the screen what happens. So as I click on the search button, you must have noticed that there was a certain load time in that screen. Let me do this once again for you. So if I change this to Mumbai and if I search once again, you can see there was a loading time. All right. And what happens when we write our code something like this? Let's say in our feature file, we have written that we open the URL, we enter the login detail, we enter login and we verify that home page is visible or not. What happens that as soon as Selenium does the step number 1, and without any wait, in a 0-second wait, Selenium does step number 2, and without any wait, Selenium will execute step number 3, and without any wait, Selenium will execute step number 4. Alright, so what will happen as soon as Selenium will execute step number 2? Selenium will not be able to find that element in the DOM because the page is still loading in your screen, because it depends on your internet speed as well. And that's the reason we need waits in Selenium. So if you see that web element do not always load immediately after a page action, example clicking login, if Selenium tries locating an element too fast, then we will get no such element exception. And this is the exact exception we have seen in our previous video. So how to deal with this type of situations? So to deal with this type of situations, we have something called as implicit wait and explicit wait. Okay. So first let's try to understand both of implicit wait in detail. So what is an implicit wait? It's a global wait that applies to every find element and it calls automatically. Now what does it exactly mean when I say that it applies to globally to every element? Alright. So for example, imagine you're automating this website of Ixigo and you are searching for a flight from Bangalore to Mumbai, and as soon as you click search, this flight results appear. Okay. Or probably we can take a better example of hotels. So let's go to hotel and let's say we are searching for a hotel over here, and let's say we search for a hotel in Bangalore. Okay, and we take the check-in and check-out time and we click search. So when we click on search for a hotel, you can see there are certain elements which are still getting loaded, right? And there are probably certain amount of results. Let's say there are 200 hotels listed in this website, right? Now what implicit wait does, implicit wait will be applied on a global level. So if this is my code, what I will do, I will go to my hooks, and in my hooks what I will do, over here I will apply my implicit wait. Here apply implicit wait. And when I apply implicit wait here, what will happen? Just understand. So when I apply implicit wait, that means I will just write this line of code, that driver.manage.timeout.implicitly wait and duration of second, and I will say that okay, I have applied an implicit wait of 10 seconds. So when I have applied an implicit wait of 10 seconds over here, what will happen? In every step there will be a wait time of 10 seconds. So after the URL is getting opened, the Selenium, the automation will wait for 10 seconds, then it will execute this step, then wait for 10 seconds, then execute this step, then execute this step, and then execute this step. Okay, but please note one thing. So for example, this statement have been executed. Okay, now the Selenium is waiting for 10 seconds, but in just 3 seconds only, in just 3 seconds only, the Selenium is able to find this step. Okay, the Selenium is able to execute this step. Then what will happen? It will not wait for any further time. Okay, it will just execute and it will move to the next step. So if you see the step definition over here, so Selenium, I had a wait time of how many seconds? I had a wait time of 10 seconds. Okay, this got executed. Now what will happen? Selenium will execute this. This also got executed, and this took, let's say this step took only 3 seconds. Now what will happen? Selenium will not wait for the entire 10 seconds to execute. Now what will happen? Selenium will not wait for an entire 10 seconds. Rather, it will go to the next step as soon as this step is executed in 3 seconds. Okay. So if you want to understand implicit wait are basically a global wait where what happens, where you give a timeout of 10 seconds. So what we have given over here, we have given a timeout of 10 seconds, and we have told Selenium, okay, do one thing, you wait for 10 seconds on a maximum time. Okay, but even if you get an element in 3 seconds or 5 seconds or 7 seconds, do not wait for entire 10 seconds. Move ahead and move to the next step. So this is the positive point of implicit wait, that you don't need to wait entire 10 seconds. If your program is executed in just 3 seconds, it will go to the next step. So this is the advantage. But let's talk about the disadvantage with implicit wait. Now understand this, that this was your website. Okay, and right now I have searched for hotels only in Bangalore. Okay, now let's say you have added your wait time as 10 seconds in the entire program, that okay, the performance testing of this particular website is done, and our queue manager tell us that none of the APIs will take more than 10 seconds. So I have applied a 10 seconds of wait time globally over here. Okay, so it will start executing and it will take 10 seconds timeout for each and every step. Okay, no problem. But what will happen, instead of Bangalore, I search for India. Okay, if I search for India, or probably a bigger region, or probably I can say Bangalore or probably Mumbai, and I include few more cities over here, then instead of just 200 results, I will get almost 10,000 or 20,000 result, which will surely take more time than expected. So you are understanding, your QA manager has already told you that the APIs will take around 10 seconds, maximum of 10 seconds to load. And based on that conversation, what you did, you applied an implicit wait on your website, and you told that okay, maximum wait time will be 10 seconds. If the 10-second wait time is over, then I should not proceed. But when we are loading 10,000 results or 20,000 results or 50,000 results, in that case, it's not necessary that the wait time will always be 10 seconds or less than 10 seconds. It can be a case that the wait time can be 20 seconds or 25 seconds sometimes. So what will happen in that case? Now some people will say that, okay, what we will do, we will go to our implicit wait and we will come here, and what we will do, we will give a maximum timeout of 25 seconds in case of implicit wait. Now, what is the problem with this 25 second? What will happen exactly? When you give a implicit wait of 25 second, and let's suppose your step fails, this step fails. If this step fails, and you know that these steps need only 10 seconds of time, okay, what will happen? It will still wait for 25 seconds. And let's say this step also fail, this will also wait for 25 seconds. This step also fail, this will also wait for 25 seconds, and this also fail, and this will also wait for 25 seconds. So 25 plus 25 plus 25 plus 25, it will wait for 100 seconds, which is not exactly what we want, because ideally the wait time for this particular step were 10 seconds. So ideally this job should be done in 10 plus 10 plus 10 plus 10, which is 40 seconds. It should not take 100 seconds. And that's where explicit wait come into the picture. So when you say that we only need 10 seconds for this step, we only need 10 seconds for this step, and probably like this we have 1000 steps. Okay, so all of the 1000 steps need just 10 seconds. But we have one specific case that out of 1000 only 5 steps need 25 seconds, right? So what we will do, we will not use the implicit wait, and we will not tell the user that, okay, for all the 1000 test cases I will wait for 25 seconds. Rather, I will use explicit wait, and I will tell that for 995 test cases, please wait for only 10 seconds. And for this 5 special test case, I want you to wait for 25 seconds, not for the entire 1000 test case. By this way, you save your execution time with a lot of bandwidth. So now if you come to the screen and if you see about explicit wait. So explicit wait, it is a smart and local wait that targets a specific condition for a specific element. So now I hope it is clear that why we use explicit wait and why do we use implicit wait. Implicit wait we only use when we want to globally assign all of the elements a certain wait time. In implicit wait, we will not have much control. If we assign 10 seconds, it will be 10 seconds for each and every element for the 1000 test cases. But as soon as we start using explicit test case, now we can give a custom duration for every test case. So if you have 1000 test case, you can give a custom duration for one test case. If you can give custom duration for 10 test case, so like that you can control, you can have a better control over your code and over your automation execution. And how do we execute, how do we implement explicit wait? You can see WebDriverWait, we define a new wait, okay, and we give a duration of seconds. Now you will say that, okay, here is also duration of second, but here also you can set the maximum time that, okay, maximum you can wait for 25 seconds. I don't want you to wait for more than 25 seconds. Okay, I will show you this in action in code how to do it in our next video. But I hope this is clear how implicit wait and explicit wait differs in reality. And now at last we have one more thing to explain, that is thread.sleep. Thread.sleep is actually not related to Selenium. It is not part of a Selenium. It is part of our core Java. So thread is a class which Java already gave us, and we can use it for making our program sleep or wait for a certain amount of time. This is really not recommended because this is a static wait. So for example, in our code, when we come here and when we use thread.sleep and we give a sleep time of 3000 milliseconds, or probably you can increase this sleep time to 10,000 milliseconds or 10 seconds. So whenever we say thread.sleep for 10 seconds, now what will happen even if our program has executed and it has find out the element in just 3 seconds or 4 seconds, it will still wait for the entire 10-second window until and irrespective of you have found out the element or you have not found out the element. So that is really a very bad idea because it will just crash the entire system. Imagine if you have a test suite of 1000 test cases and for every test case you are waiting for 10 seconds. So that means you have to wait for 10,000 seconds for the entire program to execute, which is not ideal. So thread.sleep is not suggested to use it production level code. You can just use it for testing on your local machine. All right. So we have covered implicit wait, explicit wait, and thread.sleep. In the next video, I will show you how to use implicit wait in your program and how to use explicit wait in your program. Ideally, implicit wait is really not recommended because this is again a global wait. So we don't want to use a global wait. We don't have much control over it. So whenever you want to use, you always use explicit wait. In the next video, I will show you how to use this in action and in code. And after that, we will be covering one last type of wait, which is called as fluent wait. So we will understand where fluent wait is used and how it is used exactly in code. So I will see you in the next video. Until then, bye bye. Take care.